Hello, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, the Rumple One. It's Tuesday, June the 2nd, the year 2013. I was reading my emails on my smartphone this morning, and this one site talked about how Bill Cosby is being vilified because he's speaking out. He's saying what's on his mind. And I agree with a lot of what he says. And the author of the article agreed, but he also pointed out some inconsistencies. And then I did a little research because something struck me. Because, see, you know, here in America, you always hear people talking about rights. And right now, gay rights is kind of right there in the forefront. And then there's something as absurd as immigration or immigrant rights. At least that's pretty absurd to me. And so I was reading this article and it made me think of something. Because this article was basically talking about, you know, blacks or Afro-American rights. And then it was talking about how, you know, white people aren't responsible. And it's true. Some people like to argue that point. But they're saying, hey, we're all adults, and, you know, just because possibly somebody's forefathers or grandfathers or great-great-great-grandfathers did something to my great-great-great-grandfathers, they don't owe me anything. Yeah, they don't. But then I did some research, like I said. Because what I was wondering was, or what I realized was, you don't really hear much about Asian rights. It got me thinking. So, did a little research. Google is great. And the thing about it is, I don't see why the kids today are so ignorant when all I got to do is Google. And the answer to just about any question is there. But that's off topic for now. Back to the point. Asian rights. There was a whole Asian right movie, kind of piggybacked on the civil rights back in the 60s and 70s. But the thing is, you don't see it in the media. It's the low profile. And I'm wondering why that is. Why don't you see more about Asian rights in the media? Are they just being ignored as if the Asian rights aren't important? Aren't the Asians making enough noise about it? I don't understand. It's something you have to look at it. When you see all the stuff that's out there, people, you know, clamoring for their rights, but yeah, there are some Asian right movement, but you just don't hear about it. It's not on the TV news. It's not in the print media. So what's going on there? Gotta wonder about it. At least I do. I mean, there's certain things that I, as an American born here, find appalling. One of it is that ballots are printed in a language other than English. I don't know, maybe I'm old school, but I think it was Teddy Roosevelt who said something about, you know, there's only one flag, there's only one thing here, that's American. You know, one language, that's English. Somehow that got lost. Because I think once you lose that, you lose the country, and that's what's happened. You know, press 1 for English. A lot of us hate it. I know I hate it. But if a private business wants to have that, that's okay. But when it comes to government, no. It should not even be. It should be English. All business should be conducted in English in this country. That's just my belief. I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority on that belief. Maybe I'm in the majority. But I really do believe that that's what should be happening here. But the point is that why, to me, the question is, why don't we hear more about Asian rights? And as I was doing my research, I stumbled upon a few things that either I'd forgotten or never heard about in the first place. Did you know that in this country, that people, survivors, I guess, of the Japanese internment camps were paid $20,000? Isn't that interesting? I did not know that. But it's a fact. Maybe that's why some people want to be compensated because their great-great-great-granddaddy was a slave. I mean, hey, if they want to give me $20,000, I'd take it. Why not? Right? Free money. But I'm not going to be holding up a protest sign or something and say, give it to me. It's like, it's history. It's a sad commentary on America, but I think we've moved a little bit forward. Maybe not much, but some. And maybe some people will vilify me like they do Bill Cosby for this, but that's okay. Because I think you have to, you only get to reap what you sow. Now, if I don't take time out and till that garden and plant that garden and water that garden and fertilize that garden and do all the things I need to do, then I don't get to pick any vegetables or fruit. It's just that simple. Am I supposed to make my neighbor do it for me? No, I don't think so. And that's the problem with rights. People think they got a right to this and a right to that. You just got to wonder how all that started, why it continues. Probably because those in power want to keep it that way. They know what the solutions are. They know they can fix it, but they don't. They don't want to. They like things just the way they are. It's like the border. How can a superpower not protect its own border? That is just ludicrous. Now they're talking about having a path to immigration to all these illegal immigrants. Makes me sick. And I know I'm not alone. I mean, people could turn, well, where's your compassion? Well, it's selective compassion. That's what it is. It's funny, the other day at the prepper meeting, we were talking about, the topic was prepping for a better life. Not just for doomsday scenarios, but how being a prepper can actually make your life better in the areas of your health, your wealth, and your family. And this one lady who's a master canner said that she was talking about how if you order a still and you have this still, you're in violation of the law. In America, the land of the free, you can't own your own still. Can't produce your own alcohol for your own consumption. It's against the law in the land of the free. Now you're wondering, you know, what's that got to do if I'm starting out talking about Asian rights and I wind up talking about stills? Well, you see, you know, how do you connect those dots? I mean, how does it get there? Well, I think it's because the Asians, for the most part, it's a closed culture. They really don't like outsiders. This is what I've kind of experienced. Even though it's funny because now I think that's the old Asian culture. I think the new Asian culture pretty much adopts and adapts. I was in China and I couldn't find a t-shirt that had Chinese characters on it. But if I wanted to buy a t-shirt that said New York, they were all over the place. Connect the dots. How do you connect those dots? I'll let you ponder that for a little bit. What do you think? How do you get from A to B? Low profile. Well, see, if you keep a low profile, you can build your own still, and nobody needs to know about it. Keep, zip the lip. And so maybe that's what's going on with the Asian, right? They're keeping a low profile. They're not making a lot of noise. They're not stirring the pot. So that's how you connect the dots. Low profile. But you just have to wonder. Because usually the news media likes a good story. Maybe they don't consider it newsworthy. But whatever the case, my fellow Americans, wake up, smell the tyranny.